Well, today we are actually number 3 of Roadrunner. Last couple of weeks we made you aware of audio problems we were experiencing, so I'm going to just talk right over it. Um, Last week we had we had taken you to the place where Gypsy Hurley spent the last few years of her life, and we took you there, and at that time we wanted to know how far the actual Mima Mounds were from where we were. That's the car. The car makes noises all the time. And, well, anyway, it is 13 miles. We are now at the Mima Mounds. The reason for the noise in the car is the memory in my battery is confused, so everything has to be with an AC outlet, and there's a fan in the car, which it just makes noise. So anyway, I took that out for you for a minute. Here again, to remind you, we are teaching Tina how to run the camera. We're also trying to show you the do's and don'ts of filming, so I can use it for the shows as you request. Anyway, we are now heading east instead of south. We want to go to 395, but 395 has very, very bad weather conditions. We would have been in big trouble had we went that way. The actual trip was in April of 2006. The insert that you're looking at was filmed in August of 2006, and Ebony Moore is the one that directed the inserts we have here. And again, I'm having on the same clothes, and we will do so for several more weeks. And so pretty soon we're gonna get on the road here and take you to some new adventures. Again, conversation in the car is not essential. We try to have you in our presence, and that's just how it goes. So I'll just kind of talk to you ever so often, and so we're gonna head east instead of south, and see what's ahead of us here. So enjoy. And if you notice, the trees are starting to turn. Yeah, that was one thing. It was August and the trees were already turning. We had noticed that the seasons were off. So here we go. Maybe this is a giant with one breast. What do you think? It could be a giant. We had showed you the holes in the in this horrible road, and Tit Rock we called it. The little mountain with the nipple on it. That's where we had left off, and here we're taking you through those holes again. Before going on the road, check your shocks and things like that, because occasionally we do run into, well, we're just getting into it. Yeah. And we're talking about how the Navajos name everything by description, and we was trying to find a proper name for this landmark, so we named it Tit Mountain. And who knows? Maybe it'll get popular and stay that way. I'm sure it has a different name, but you're in the car with us. We don't edit very often. We had some extreme footage we did have to cut out. But to remind you, when you tape, when I have to cut whatever dialogue you have, I will have to remove, and then nothing makes sense. Normally, I try to put a storyline in the conversations in the car, so instead of in the studio, we just do the shows from the car. Now you see she's bringing this in a little bit too fast, and it's a little shaky. And that's the type of stuff that, no thank you. Please avoid that if you can. So, to remind you, we had real TV before anybody else did, and like to maintain that. We had problems with the equipment on the audio part, and that's why I'm talking over it, like a documentary. We thought we knew where we were going. Of course, that didn't happen since we had to change route. Snowstorms in Reno, and see, this is not good either, you see. So when you zoom in on something, take your time. If it shakes, just abandon ship and just don't do it. And but here the young lady would see something in the distance, and she would try to pull it in. Sometimes she knew what it was, and sometimes she didn't. And she's just like here, you see, she's pulling it in to give you a view. Well, she's trying to give you a view of what's way up there, and that doesn't always work. And she was a sponsor, so she had never worked the camera before. Please note, to get out of the weather, we went east, towards Burns, I believe. Everything is flooded. A week earlier, we would not have even been able to get through there. See, she spotted some. That was actually, this is not a good shot, but it was that little place here. Let me see if I bring the sound in better for you. Still in Oregon, so cigarettes ahoy. Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, you've been here long in the middle of nowhere?
8 years.
8 years?
August 1st will be 8 years.
She said she's been there 8 years.
Well,
I guess
you like it. Love it.
Love it. And you? Could I get your name?
Pat.
Pat?
My name is Dale.
And Dale. And where am I? Pat and Dale.
In Riley, Oregon.
In Riley, Oregon. Well, okay, hang on a minute here. Postcards, T-shirts. More T-shirts, and this is right on 20. Can't forget the men here. We got to give you some hands. Cool. It's on Highway 20. Playroom. That's where we're going. We thought we would show you this because we have many male viewers. I saw a sign that said archery. I don't know anything about archery. How wonderful. We had came to an area that was fenced in. We assumed it was government, just your tool? Public lands. Uh-huh. And that was one of the things we asked about.
I put them together.
Oh, okay.
I'll put all the sights and everything on it and set them up.
Oh, look at that. But everything over there, that's government property, no? Yeah, we asked him about that now, and he said no, it's privately owned.
No, it's private property.
Private? Okay. Oh, my.
So,
We got fishing stuff? I know absolutely nothing about fishing. Right. What is that?
that is scent that
Box snort.
attracted.
Okay. I'm sure our male viewers think, what a dumb woman. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
You
how we
male
learn,
viewers
right?
probably think I'm really dumb, and you're right. I have no idea
Look at a
about
mountain goat.
anything about fishing or hunting.
Uh-huh.
My brother and I both done
Well, not
Oh,
dumb.
Cool.
I just don't know.
Cool. All right.
from there.
So that's where we are.
This is where we are.
Going archery. And you got the
At
phone
the
number
junction
in the
of
address.
395
If,
and 20.
You don't leave it on long enough, call the show and we'll give it to you.
It was at that point that we realized we couldn't have went 395 if we wanted to, because it was definitely closed. It later turned out there were mud and rock slide and the road was washed out. But actually, had we known we had to go this way, we could have stopped in Hot Lake and then picked up 395, where we eventually ended up at.
The archery,
But
and because we, at the last minute, were debating should we go back to the original plan of 395.
yeah, that's how it was.
The reason there is no traffic on this highway at the moment very impassable because of the weather. So, but they did manage.
But that's how it is when you,
shortcut.
to have an
So we
itinerary,
didn't
and
go
it really makes no
around
sense
it,
when you
but
go on
it
a
looks
journey, you
shorter
just
than-
go where it takes you.
And now we're entering Hines.
I thought it was Burns, but 395 is impassable.
So we just talked
So
about the
that's
fact
it.
that, of course, we couldn't go 395, and new experience for Tina. She's used to freeways, and
Well, you know something? That is so funny.
that was new.
Because we already did a story on Heinz. We brought to you last
We had
year.
done a story on Heinz.
Nadia and I.
We had not planned on going there, but here we were again.
But we were going east to Ontario, and we were going to Boise.
We actually come through Burns when we go to Ontario and Boise, when we head towards Colorado and places. And Ebony and I had taken you to the little miniature park
Okay, here's the truck stop.
a few months ago.
Okay, now look at the highway. It looks like it's part of the water.
Now please note, you cannot tell the sky from the water. These are fields.
Weird because we're not getting it on camera. It doesn't even look like there's water.
It looks like you're driving straight into the water, and then if you
This
know,
is where the
I got
trust
closer,
comes
I
in.
had to zoom in.
see,
It shows it, yeah.
it's just like water. And those poor horses have standing water.
It looked just like standing water.
If you didn't know better, you would think you're driving into
But
water. Or,
we thought, well, either way, let's see what happens here.
gee,
Hydroplane. There's no sign saying anything.
We wasn't sure if the cameras would pick that up, but that's what we saw. So here come the other cars, and we said, okay, cool.
There was no sign that
It
they
was a
don't go that
reflector,
way.
you see.
I'm going to try to come up that way tomorrow after college.
But that was incredible.
Yeah, it looks like we're walking on water here.
We've actually taken you on that road going to Baker City, Oregon, to the Geyser Hotel. I like these shots to the back window and the side window.
Grow out here. Doesn't look like wheat can grow out here. See the prairie dogs? Oh, look at him.
There's somebody running.
Oh, he's running back across.
She really tried hard on that one. I didn't have to hard to cut it out. Also, please remember I am driving 65 miles per hour.
And look what's ahead of us. That white star.
He's zooming in.
The white star. What do you
Seems
think?
like everywhere we go, we're running into...
From here to there.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Just the way it looks like it's so long. Well, we haven't seen any snowplows coming this way.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yesterday we did.
Yes, we did.
And we're just making chit-chat and try to put a storyline in our trip here.
Fires and
Which by now, of course, got totally changed because I have to talk to you.
Had some of those yesterday.
now you got all snow.
It's not snowing anymore
Anything on the Weather Channel.
where we are.
They said today
It is
was
in
the
Reno.
day, I don't know if they said the first time in history, but they said today they had every season in the country.
Yeah, I was telling her on the news it said that was the first time that they knew of where they ever had 4 seasons all in the same day, you know, from one end of the country to the other when they tallied it up at the middle of the, at the end of the evening.
Because they had to save electricity, it was so hot.
Not good. It's too restless.
That's another one.
And last week we talked about the fact that
Pretty rocks.
because it was so early in the year, we could actually see the difference in the colors, the greens and
All this flat land and then...
hardly any flowers at that point, but then we're in high desert. In the summertime, most of that is burned, or so many leaves you can't
you can see any of this. On the very first show, when we was in the first circle, I called this car the Green Beast. Well, it's a red beast. Yeah, because I was correcting something. In the very beginning, I made reference to the new car here, the Green Beast. Well, it's actually a red Toyota. The Green Beast was a car that was donated to us by Tom Stahl's mother, Barbara. And it was a Fury, and we called it the Green Beast. I mean, it would go from 1 to 100 in nothing. But of course, we have graduated to economy cars due to gas prices. Not too much traffic. It's about midday. Somewhere on the other side of the mesa, let's see, there would be Interstate 84 would run parallel to this highway here. And 84 takes you from Portland to Boise.
Car's gonna keep moving. You'll keep on being informed. Oh look, wait, that's pretty. That's man-made. Is it? Panorama.
For those of you traveling, if you ever want to go on the back road, you can actually get, oh my goodness, you can get all the way to Salt Lake like that. I think in Rupert, you very briefly have to go on 84, and then I think in Logan, Utah, you can turn again, going back on the back roads. We're trying to go to Winnemucca, which is south. But at the moment we are heading east instead of south. The little sign said we was going to Malheur. And a malheur is a French word, and it means Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will. So we was wondering why they would have named the little town Malheur. Yeah, and maybe they had a good reason. By the time you see that, Ebony and I is going to be on the road.
We didn't see a sign.
We're going to California, but on 395.
Marker.
We're going to, here again, it's that water thing. Ebony and I is going to interview some people we missed last year because of our time frame. And put a metaphysical spin. It'll be crop circle season, and right here it's too early. There are no crop circles in the field. The grain is not high enough, so we're gonna drive that again and see if we maybe can, get some other things. Unless you're gonna make a big loop and double back, the snow is to the right of us, behind us almost. In some areas the snow had tried to melt. This was early in April. Never been here before. No, never been there before. So it's a lady. This is a snow zone. But there is no snow here, so I think they told us right. We're lucky. We are in a snow zone. No snow, good for us. Oops, excuse me. I think we're still in Oregon. What do you think?
Yep, I think so.
But now we had puffy clouds, the weather, everything was pretty good and clear.
There's snow up there. Little bitty patches.
She's still looking for dirty snow.
See that?
This is not a bug. Earlier I said there's a bug trying to get in the car. shadow of the alien on the antenna. For a long time, I thought there was a bug on the window, a huge bug. And with the speed and the wind, I couldn't understand why it wouldn't just fall off. And then we realized I have an alien head on the antenna. Then it was the shadow of the alien head that went with us. It was not a bug at all. And it gets real windy till about 7.
And who knows, we might get snowfall on.
That part of the country is better to drive in the morning because in late afternoon it gets very, very windy.
Remember that freak snowstorm they had in Bend?
And in previous years we had taken you to a rest area and let you listen to the wind and the birds. Did you ever see Jessica? What's the one, Roger Rabbit?
Yep, Jessica Rabbit.
Okay.
Redhead. Yep.
Right, and there was a scene in there where they was going to put a little guy into the dip and he said, "Oh no, not death, it's death." We're talking about Roger Rabbit and dip. And Roger Rabbit here. Sometimes it gets silly when you're in the middle of nowhere. So if you're taking a friend you don't get along with, that's not the thing to do. I have to look at that in the owner's manual. I think there is an automatic. 2 years ago, Claudia and I came through Idaho. And we really got to the point where we just wanted to get out of Idaho now. But I think we're still in Oregon. I have no clue.
Around the mountain we go. We thought we were going to get away with flat land.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to happen again.
But this is much better than, well, so far. Long stretch of straight road, which is good, but the elevation is like, what, 4,000 feet, I believe.
Yep. Just like they say when you get into an accident, the most relaxed one's the one that comes out of it. You didn't even see anything yesterday, so you missed the whole thing. So.
The car was brand new. I had not gotten used to the car yet, so I'm still playing with it to see, you know, what it's used to. Because cars kind of, in my opinion, take the personality of the owner, and this one was pretty smooth. But it was not used to going in second gear downhill. So it took a little while for it to realize that it had a lot more features than it was used to. And then, of course, we got almost 45 miles a gallon. So we would have forgiven it for a lot of things, actually. I would suggest you carry extra belts. Somebody is parked in the middle of nowhere here, because sometimes there is 100 miles without anything. So carrying extra belts, and wherever you see a gas station, just go get it, because you don't know when you're going to be able to get gas the next time. I was a California driver. She's trying to get license plate. Not good. I mean, I was doing 65 and 70, so just imagine. It's gone. That's fantastic. I put a little music on occasionally, because we actually thought that the sound was good. That's Fantasia, one of the American Idols singing.
Climbing around we go.
And that's 45. I'm sure they have a reason. I like desert, so I was really happy there.
I would really like one right about now.
Tina preferred mountains, and we were ready for an espresso, of course. Not there. So if you entrepreneurs that's trying to do something, put an espresso stand in the middle of nowhere. I bet you make money.
You know what tells you where you are? This reminds me of a piece of road in Colorado before you get to actually Provo Canyon.
We're at the Maima Mountains. It's amazing.
So we
how
back at the Maima Mountains.
is here. And again, that's my car doing this.
I don't know if you can hear that car.
In case you're wondering why I don't shut it off, I'm having issues with the batteries in the camera. So we
I
need
already told you about
electricity.
my battery issues, so we have to run off electricity, and it just does that.
I have to tell you the green truck story real quick.
Okay,
Yes, whoops.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yes, we were going.
We were on Highway 20,
Tina,
and Tina was filming. She was turned like that, and so she didn't see it, and I'm driving along, and right about then, an 18-wheeler with 2 extra cars on it, it came towards the car. It drove right through the car. I had no time to react, and my brain couldn't comprehend what had happened. Sometimes, and when Tina turned around, she said, "What was that thump?" She felt it, but she didn't see it. And I thought it was great that she didn't see it. She might have grabbed the steering wheel or something. It was 3 o'clock in the morning when my brain comprehended what had happened. The only thing I could think that maybe it was dimensions had shifted, a time shift happened, or the car just plain old liquefied. What I should have done is turned around and chased the truck and asked him what he saw. But like I said, it was so bizarre, my brain could not comprehend what had just happened. So for a long while we talked about the truck that ran right through us. And that, by the way, wasn't the only thing running through us. And I think it's in show number 13. We'll tell you about that.
High desert, and it is 5,500 feet. So you are up in high desert.
Okay, we're in high desert, 5,500 and some
Come
feet.
along for the next insert.
And so we're gonna go
I'll see
to
you
the
after a while.
to the next thing here.
Oh, how funny. I could laugh at my own joke here.
Yeah, I was laughing at my own jokes right about then.
Huh?
Zooming in those little hills.
Fantasia still singing.
Turn around. She comes right.
Oh, please.
Now please remember, we had no clue where we were going.
Junction.
We are now in Burns Junction.
We give you around here. Snow-capped mountains, like before. That's where we are, cafe, motel, Junction. We're gonna go to McDermott. We were told to have hotels, and then there's a reservation we're gonna check out. There's a dirty mouse again. Wait,
This was Tina.
how long have you been here? 7 years. 7 years? We were thinking earlier, how long does it take you to get to Walmart?
Walmart?
Yeah.
She's like, what's that?
About 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
2.5 hours for
When I
Walmart.
travel in the RV, I go from one Walmart to the other, and I thought it might take a year.
The reason I asked it was for the friends that drive
Okay.
RVs.
And so, in the nearest town is what, McDermott?
Jordan Valley. 45 miles.
Jordan Valley was another hole in the wall.
Bigger than this, but
But
small.
they've got small motels, you know.
But this was like one building or so.
Travels out of here, they need to be. What time do you close here?
9 o'clock.
PM.
Close at
And
9.
you open?
7.
At 7.
Mountain time.
No
Mountain
gas,
time. Yeah, we just
no
lost an
hotel.
hour. That's right.
You'll gain it back in about 15 miles.
15 miles. Yeah.
We lost an hour, and then
Yeah, that's I told you
in
the-
15 miles we
time
gained
was
the hour
up.
back.
Okay. We are still in, where are we? We're still in Oregon.
We are still in Oregon.
And we have a no smoking here. And I'm sure they have a butt patrol also. We'll get back to that later.
We had told him the story
And
about
we're
a
gonna
butt
be in
patrol
Nevada before the night
in
starts,
Olympia.
so. And thank you for sharing with us, and maybe we'll see you again. Here, this is where we were at 3J's Burns Junction on Old US Highway 95 in Jordan Valley, Oregon.
Isn't that a beautiful mountain?
Now we're going down the highway. We thought we made a wrong turn. So what we did is we stopped and we called the lady at the cafe there that we just talked to.
I think they like to
And
visit.
she told us that we were on the right way because we were looking for Jordan Valley. And but it was just so little, we missed it.
Crazy, but we would have made it a lot more.
So, but we had that business card, so we called them. We said, "Hey, we just left there. Which way are we going?"
Never wanted to drive through the
Yeah.
icy mountains.
We did just what we needed.
So we thought we got lucky and gained an hour because we almost at the Nevada border, but that didn't last but a minute. And we was looking forward to going to Nevada and having coffee and a cigarette all at the same time.
I don't know who that is.
Destiny's Child.
Okay.
My daughter loves Destiny's
Now we listen to
Child.
Destiny's Child. Now the funny thing is when you see these mountains, you don't know if you have to go around them or through them. I mean over
He had his
them.
dinner with them in his mouth.
And I was still trying to absorb my experience with that truck rolling through us like that.
That's right. This is America the Beautiful. What you don't see from I-5 and all the other normal freeways.
It is a church. But it's another chemtrail.
Another chemtrail. She now knows what she's looking for.
That's what.
That's a little too fast. But she's still learning, but I think she's starting to do
Well,
very
looks
good.
like we're going right into that. I don't know.
We didn't know what to do about those mountains.
Yes.
See how long the road is.
5,500 now.
5,500 feet.
We are still at
elevation.
5,500
Coming
feet.
down from it now. Long highway for 50 miles. But luckily, the nice people in the restaurant at 3J.
I already told you that we had called there.
And they told us we are on the right highway. Of course, T-Mobile
For a
doesn't
minute,
work
we
here,
thought we
but
were lost.
Verizon does.
So when you travel, use Verizon. Or if you
We
use
had two
like
phones. I had a
take
T-Mobile,
Verizon
she had a
extra
Verizon.
For safety.
For the most part, the Verizon phone picked up everything. And so we had phone service pretty much, between the two of us. And it is good to have two different companies because, wherever the cell phone towers are located. And hers worked almost all the time. And
Come to Nevada.
we are in Nevada.
On the shows, we haven't taken you there. I mean, we've flown there, but we haven't shown you signs. So there you go. Those trucks were doing 80. I was doing 70. What did I tell you?
Yeah, those
They
trucks
caught up
went
with
right
me.
by me, like I wasn't
And
even there.
look, for you people that were bored of just leaving and driving, there's a slot machines and food and fun. You can stop there and play.
And
So we're
food,
gonna see what we're gonna do now.
not good.
Welcome.
Again, I ate that whole
Here we
dinner.
go.
This is my dessert. I'm taking it with me. Look at it. Bread pudding.
Bread pudding.
I can't believe I did that. I didn't show you the food.
We ate the dinner.
Strawberry
We were so
shortcake.
excited. We forgot to show you the
That's what
food.
I'm going to have for breakfast. They open at 5. Oh. Was
And
big?
something to drink.
Was big?
It was very big. I'm still working on it. And expensive too. $5.50 for ham, cheese, eggs, carrots, a chef salad. It could feed 2 people for $5.50.
And you know what? The best part of it, we are in Nevada.
We're making time.
I'm smoking. At the same time, I'm having coffee.
They were excited about
for
that.
a year. Roses. Yeah.
The hotel was only $39 for 2 people, so. Oh, now we get the Jordan Valley.
Right at the border of Oregon and Nevada. All right.
We stayed at McDermott, I think. I don't know where we stayed, but
All right. We're looking at some of the mountains. And we just passed...
we were happy.
Willow Creek. Let's see. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm still
She saw
bored.
something.
Yeah, well,
She's
I'm not-
apologizing in
Yeah,
advance.
It's Wednesday, so this is the 3rd morning of our journey.
The 3rd morning of our
What I
journey.
didn't realize is that last year Claudia and I went to Shoshone and Paiute country on the other side of this.
Yeah, in
And,
case you can't
as
hear
a
that,
result,
Claudia and I
we
went to the
by
Paiutes,
Grubbs.
in the Idaho part of it. And what we did not realize was that the Paiutes, they go all the way from Idaho all the way down to California. So we actually went to the southern part of the Paiutes. And so I told the universe I did Paiute country from one end to the other. So I guess I'm done with that.
California. License plate. I don't know where we are. We are
Not
in
good.
4,300 elevation 43. I can't say that word. It's not on the map. I know that.
Napa.
Don't know where we
It's a
are.
Shell station.
But by now I realize my tires aren't quite right.
I think so. But
I think we're good.
go to the next place.
There you go. Chorizo and coffee. Rwanda? Sounds like Rwanda. Not quite sure, but that's what it sounds like.
279. Gas is cheap.
Gas at that time was $2.79,
What we got out of it.
which we thought was cheap because we paid above $3 April 2006.
Pizza and slots. The motel. Pizza and slots.
The name of the hotel we stayed at the night before, it was called
It's not
Pizza
on the
and
map. I wanna
Slots.
see it. We are on 95
SLOTS.
going south.
We're now heading south.
Slowly go up here.
This is reservation.
Out in the desert.
Back
There's
into the
actual
desert.
life. There's green grass.
See that?
Yeah.
We are in Winnemucca. Now, I want to show you
We
this.
are in Winnemucca.
What's an emergency blankets you here? I want to show you this enormous graveyard. It's right on the main street. It is just horrendous. I've never seen a graveyard in the middle of town like that. And it just goes on and on. We were looking for the flying J. We found the flying pig. And we had a nice police officer stop us. wondering if we were lost. And we said, no. Well, okay.
That's
it
the
for
wind
minute,
you're
for
hearing.
the moment. Yeah, at Potato Road.
Potato Road.
A Flying J.
Flying
Yeah.
J's are great. They also let RVs park overnight for free.
So here we are.
Flying J's are now conical.
Here's that graveyard from a different angle.
Oops.
So you have casinos everywhere.
Back to the reservation.
We are on 80.
We are now on Interstate 80. And I can definitely tell that something's not quite right with my tires.
Towards Allen.
So it was a new car, brand new tires. And I thought that just maybe it was not my imagination. So I'm looking for a Les Schwab's or something to check the tires on my car. I didn't know what it was. All I knew was the tires. They either had to be balanced or rotated.
I was talking about moving down. Let me see what's over there.
This is an actual Interstate
There's some
80.
kind of statues or something.
It's a 4. It's close though.
We got it on camera.
Like I only had to go on the interstate like, what, 10 or 15 miles. It was a very, very short distance. But I had no sense of direction at that time, other than what it said on the, well, yeah, I guess we looked at the map, but we just looking for the sign to Winnemucca and, you know, go from one sign to the next. I know how to read a map. Tina did not, but eventually she got the hang of it really good. Those trucks go so fast, it's just unbelievable. We talked to the truckers and some of them drive 1,000 miles a day. I don't know how they do it, but then they might be bragging too. Somebody lost a tire. Oh, speed limit is 75.
Les Schwab's. I think the tires are not balanced properly, so we're going to have to take a quick look at it.
We are now in Lovelock, Nevada.
We're going back on the 95.
Gas prices are
Gas
up
$2.89. We talking about how cheap it is,
there.
how cheap it was.
Did you?
But the speed limit was 75, and I did the speed limit, so I'm assuming the trucks did 80 or 90.
This is probably not the main street, but we decided to come into town on one end so we don't miss anything.
So we're driving you to a nice little
With
town.
the train.
Mhm.
We found people very
We bought
friendly
Very
everywhere we
reasonable
went.
cigarettes. Earlier on the highway, we went to a Native American shop.
We went to an Indian smoke shop and bought cheap
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Well, that's it. I guess it's getting boring now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so when we find something interesting, we'll definitely show you.
Oh well. We are at an outhouse.
We are at the end of the show. In the insert, we are still at the My Mama's.
We are still at the Mima Mounts at the outhouse. And there were bees everywhere. We were only in Nevada a short time. And
We changed time zones twice.
the weather was pretty good. And we really enjoyed Nevada. So maybe we can figure out how to do the Nevada thing a little longer in this year when we're going. Like I said, while you're watching this, we are on the road again. And it was very, very dry.
in August of 2006. And if you notice, I didn't smoke in any of my inserts because, it was just not smart to smoke in dry weather like that.
Where was I going? California.
Yeah, I couldn't remember where we were going. California, that's where we were going.
And so we're going to get back on 95 here.
And we're going to eventually meet back up at 95.
Next week, thank you, crew.
Next week we'll do that thank you, crew.
Here is the rifle range behind the Mima Mounds.
There's a rifle range behind the Mima Mounds, and that's the shot that you hear. And enjoy your insert there, and we'll see you next week. Still got on the same clothes. This was one of those live concerts in the early 80s when I was with Reggae Connections. I believe this is Burning Spear. Actually, I just remember it was a concert in 1992 in Seattle under the veil, Burning Spear. previous trip.
Miss Lilian, we'd like to thank you.
Randy Shaw is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You took us here, take us down, and it's just because you really care where our journey goes. All you is part of our planning will extend. And if we do our part, we'll fulfill our mission. We've had fun. Take us here, and you take us there, and it is just because you
We see you next week.